transition to Stockbridge where we currently are now?
The only challenge that we had, or transition, was, of course, we were buying this building. So we had to come up with a lot of money for the down payment. That was the biggest challenge that we faced, was the money. But God provided. I told the people in the congregation what we needed. And actually, a lot of people went out and borrowed money, whether it was against their home or just however. And we came up with the money. The broker told me he was going to help me to get the building, and that's exactly what he did. And we came up with the money, and God blessed us to be in this building.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, thank you.
Tell us the story of how you came to God first.
Story of how I came to God first, okay? Well, I came to God first by happenstance, really, back when we were on Peachtree Industrial. My brother, who is the minister of music, playing the piano, asked me to come to a rehearsal on a Saturday to play the drums. Because the drummer at the time was also singing, a singer. So he played the drums and sang at the same time. They figured it would be a little bit easier, for them to get through rehearsal if they had a dedicated drummer. So I came to that rehearsal and played, and the drummer slash singer asked me to come back. And so I ended up coming back and ended up playing in a Sunday service, and the rest is history. So they got things set up for me to play full time. After that, I also started driving the church van, so picking people up and dropping people off who didn't have rides to church. Yeah, I got married here, met my wife here, got married here, and started a family here, 2 boys, with my wife Imani. And now I serve as the adjutant to Pastor Jermaine, or the armor bearer to Pastor Jermaine. So that's how I ended up here at God First.
He had gone through the leadership and ministers class. We were in a service one Sunday, and the anointing was really high in the church, and I discerned when the mantle hit him. It was just a response that he was praising God, but I could see the mantle on him. I could just see it. I saw it on him that he was ready to preach. And so when I went down to Macon to start a church in Macon, I had to leave somebody in charge here. And he was such a natural. God was on him. The Spirit of God was on him. And so I knew that he was the person. I knew that he was the one that could lead the ministry. He had the same heart that I had. And so I knew that God had chosen him to be next in line.
Tell us the story of how you came to God first.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure you know, I came as a result of the now Pastor Jermaine, but Jermaine and I began to date. I was already a part of another ministry. I was raised in a Baptist church, different Baptist church. When we moved here, I was a member at Hopewell Baptist Church, a church with a lot of members, and I was very active there in the ministry. When Jermaine and I began to date, I began to visit with him on Market Street, which was a much smaller location than where we are now. And I began to visit with him. Things at God First were a lot different than what I was used to. There was preaching where I was, but the preaching at God First was different than there. The praise and worship was different than what I was used to. I can remember being there and different individuals would come up and grab me and run me around. And I was like, what in the world is going on here? We didn't do that where you shouted in your seat, we lifted our hands, we did things like that. But it was a total different curve for me. When Jermaine approached me at my bus stop from high school. I didn't know what I was up for. I didn't know, even at the beginning, I didn't know his mother was a pastor. But even when we started dating, I was like, okay, you know, he fine, he look good, he like me, I like him. You know, it don't matter, his mama a pastor, not him, you know, but little did I know, you know, and it's just funny, and God works and we don't know. It just shows that we don't know. I never imagined that I would be married to a pastor. Never imagined that I would be a first lady. But here I am, and I'm grateful. There are a lot of things that happened in my life that I never imagined. I never imagined that I would, you know, have a baby at 19, you know, and it's just, God knew. God knew what I needed. I went away for college. Jermaine and I dated before I left, and then I came back, and we were together again. And just, God just knew what it was gonna take for me. Because like I said, I never experienced change. I never experienced growth the way that I have at GFB. My life has been changed through the word here. My children were born into this ministry. My grandbaby is going to be born into this ministry. So it's a legacy. And I can say that there's no place I'd rather be. The praise and worship here, the preaching, the word, I mean, I'm so very proud of my husband. Because sometimes I sit back and I'm still amazed. I sit back and I watch him operate, and I've even told him, I said, sometimes I can't even hear what you're saying because I'm just overwhelmed. You know, I'm in disbelief sometimes because it's like just to see how he's grown and he's always been a good man. I tell him it don't get no better than you. And he's like, don't say that, I'm not perfect, but for me, he is. And he's what drew me here. It wasn't that I was looking for a church because I've always been a part of big ministries. So when I came here, I was like, where are the people? You know, but now, to see the growth, and there's just no place that I would rather be than God first. I am just overwhelmed, and I'm thankful to God because He knew. He knew even when I left to go away to college, and I came back, you know, the ins and outs of coming here, I was like, me and that church just don't vibe. I don't want people touching me, you know, but now I just look forward to praising and worshiping God with my sisters and brothers. You know, I love the people here. I love Bishop. I love Pastor Tuggle. I just love God's people, and I'm just looking forward to more. And this is home for me, and I love it. I love GFBM.
Right. Okay, well, something about that was so long ago. I don't remember Memorial Drive at all when I was in the nursery. I don't remember that whatsoever. I do remember Natasha in her silver and cowboy hat. I remember that. But as far as my journey, I don't remember that. I think my journey more so may have started in Market Street when I got married. I think that's when my journey started. And then we moved to Norcross, and it's funny because I was let's go back. I was on the Gospel Intruders, and Pop, Elder Arthur made me get on the Gospel Intruders. I never wanted to get. I never wanted to sing because I never thought I was a good singer. Like honestly speaking, I still don't think I'm a good singer, but I never wanted to sing. But he made me get on the sing, and I'm just telling the story how God have kind of like matured me and grown me, like in different areas to get me where I am now. So he started me singing on the Gospel Intruders, right? Okay, then I got kind of got my little groove, I guess, with that. Then we went to Norcross, and I joined the praise team. I joined ASAF. ASAF was first. We have had some dynamic vocalists in this church, and I joined ASAF. It was a professional singing group, and I think joining ASAF kind of gave me a little bit more confidence. Live recording. I still was very, very unsure of myself, very, very insecure. So while I was singing with ASAF, I joined the praise. That's when I joined the praise team. I joined the praise team. Honestly, they didn't like me joining the praise team, but I joined the praise team because I felt like I needed more experience. I felt like I needed just more time singing so I can get used to it. So I joined the praise team. And all of that transpired and whatnot. And then what happened was the leader at the time, they was leaving, they was moving out of state, and they asked Bishop asked them who should take over the music ministry, and he says Jermaine. I was like, what? Me? I was blown away because first of all, I felt like I wasn't capable in any kind of way, but anyway, it was just God just maturing me and preparing me because I was the youngest on ASAF. I was the youngest on the praise team. Everybody over me, everybody had more skill, more talent, more gifted, more experience, the whole 9 yards, right? But God was just developing me. He was just developing me. Then we started the ministers class, ministers class. The ministers class was great. I think we was with Kingdom Life Fellowship at that point. So that was kind of borderline intimidating because it's a bunch of we had to do a test in front of all the council, the bishops' council, right? The bishops' council, when you hear the word bishops' council, it's like woo, bishops' council. Was ordained a minister, was licensed minister, and then I want to say maybe a year later, I was ordained associate pastor. And, associate pastor, to help grow the church and help, lead the church. Then I was made senior pastor. Like I said, all along, God has just really been shifting me and growing me and maturing me in every place I was at. He was growing and maturing me to be where I am now. And he's still growing and maturing me. So, here I am now, senior pastor for 7 years now, I think. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, to be honest with you. It seemed like it was just yesterday, So, here I am, but it's been a great journey,
I shake that neighbor's hand like you're shaking it off and say, neighbor, could it be that you're going to another level?